Hey everybody, this is Adam D'Annunzio here from Ocean City. I wanted to make a quick video for everybody that's just a brief overview of the contract for sale we use here in Ocean City. I know I've had a lot of buyers asking me what the contract looks like before putting an offer in. So this is your typical standard contract. It was created by our Board of Real Estate here, and the state of New Jersey has approved it to be plain language, which just means that it's easily understood. So I'll try and make this as brief as possible and just run through it real quick. Feel free to pause your YouTube video here at any given time, and that way you can read through the contract yourself. The very first page here is just simply going to describe the relationship between you, either the buyer or seller, and your representing broker. On the second page, we just have a table of contents, which will show what's listed in this contract here. Now you'll see on page number 1 here, we're going to list the date for the contract, who the sellers are and who the buyers are, the purchase price or the offer price, and we're going to go in detail and list what the particular property is. Now if you're getting a mortgage, we're going to break down the purchase price and show the deposits and how much the mortgage amount is going to be, and list any type of mortgage contingency that you're going to have, depending on what type of rate you're looking to get from the bank. Moving on to page 3, we're going to list the closing company that we're going to use, the title company, what day and time that closing is going to happen, and it's up to the buyer's choice at what title company they're going to close at. The buyer is also stating that they're financially able to close, whether it's through cash or mortgage, that they're going to be able to close on this property. And the seller has to agree that they're going to have a clear marketable title to give to the buyer. And on the following page, that's just going to continue through. The seller has to also be financially able to close. There's often times that the seller may owe more money on the property than it's actually selling for. Under number 12, you'll see here what's actually being included with the property. Many times here in Ocean City, properties are sold furnished. You won't see this in this video, but typically a furniture inventory is provided, which is actually just listing and everything that's going to be included with the sale. Whether that be any furniture, appliances, and anything that's considered the contents of the unit there. Notice number 14, that the buyer is allowed to inspect the property at any time, any reasonable time before closing. I want to draw attention to number 18, which is your termite inspection. The buyer, at their own expense, is allowed to have a termite inspection. This is always included in every contract. Typically the buyer or the particular agent can always recommend somebody, and they can hire somebody to perform that termite inspection. Here the buyer is just going to know what municipality the property is located in and any other neighboring conditions that may affect that property, and you're welcome to explore those as well. Number 20, lead-based paint. If the property was built before 1978, you're going to want to do a lead-based paint inspection. Just make sure that there's not any lead-based paint left in that property. Again, this is only going to be for any property that was built before 1978. Number 22 is a really big one for buyers. That is the home inspection clause. You'll also find this in every contract. It's always recommended that a buyer performs a home inspection. You can hire a qualified individual that can do this home inspection and let you know if there's any defects in the property that you should really know about. And at that point, as the buyer, you can bring those defects to the seller, and the seller can either choose to remedy them, either by fixing them or extending you a credit to fix them. And of course, the buyer always has the option to say that those remedies are not suitable, and you can actually break the contract at that point once you find any defects in the property that just aren't suitable to you. Number 25 is going to list any assessments. Sometimes there's certain assessments that might need to be paid. The buyer should know about that. And if the seller has any awareness of them, they should also let the buyer know. 27 is the commissions. This is something that the seller needs to know. Typically, if the seller has hired a broker to sell their property, they're going to be paying some type of commission. And it's going to list how much of a commission that seller is going to pay to the broker. Number 29 is going to be your possession. Typically, the buyer is going to take possession at closing. It's not always that way, so make sure, when you're negotiating this contract, that you're going to be taking possession at the right time. Number 33 is the really big one. This is just a brief overview. However, you're always welcome to have an attorney review this contract. I'd always recommend, if you have any specific questions about the contract, please contact your attorney. Once you have a contract, an agreeable contract, you do have 3 days to have an attorney review the contract. This should help. You shouldn't feel pressured into buying anything. And within those 3 days, you can always bring this contract to an attorney, and if they are not satisfied with the contract, you can always break the contract at that point, or the attorney can make any necessary changes that's agreeable by both the buyer and the seller. Number 35, any easements. You should know about them. Sometimes you may share a driveway or some other type of easement with the neighboring property. As a buyer, you should be aware of those. Number 39, before closing, the property will have a smoke detector inspection. Local fire company will inspect it. Make sure you have your smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector in there. Number 44, condominium review in Ocean City. Chances are you may be buying a condo. You won't find this in single family home, but if you're buying a condo, you're going to want to review those condo docs and make sure that they are, again, suitable to you. If you find anything in there that you don't like, by all means you can use that as some type of break in the contract here. So your agent or the seller should be providing these to you for your review. And at the very end here, you have another agency disclosure. Again, just describing the relationship between the buyer, the seller, and their brokers. Number 47, oftentimes you'll see the seller provides a proper disclosure, possibly listing some of the defects in the property they want the buyer to know of. And this last addendum you'll find is now being included in all of our Ocean City contracts, just letting buyers know that this is a flood hazard area. And of course, if you're getting a mortgage, that flood insurance is necessary. Again, you can look at the flood maps and get more information on this. So thanks so much for watching this video. I'm sorry if we went over the allotted time here a little bit. But again, feel free to pause this video at any point and read through the contract. The local realtors here basically just fill in the blanks, so you won't see any of this changing except for where you see the open blanks here. And of course, if you have any specific questions, we're not attorneys, so please contact your local attorney, and I'm sure they'll be able to help you with any questions. Thanks again for viewing.